Welcome back to the Better Men, Better Ball Player podcast. I'm your host, Trey Cobb. I want to thank you for joining us here today. And as we bring another great conversation with another great coach I've just been fortunate to meet. Got the privilege of meeting head coach Pickens High School in Jasper, Georgia, Adam Williams. Coach Williams, his fourth year at Pickens High School. Last season, from the shortened COVID season, they were 13-2. And just from the talks that we've had, just an incredible bunch of kids that he had. And looks on they were on their way to doing some great things late into the season. But unfortunately, things were cut short. But it's his 19th year overall teaching and coaching. He spent 15 years prior to Pickens at Cass High School. It's in Cartersville, Georgia. The last 5 years he was in Cass, he was the head coach there. During his time there, they were to host the first home playoff game that they've had there in 30 years at Cass. He's also the 17U Nelson Baseball School manager. In 2019, they were top 40 in the country, as well as 5th in the Southeast. The little time that I got to know Coach Williams, I'm sure we're going to talk much more. He's just an absolutely incredible man. Been privileged and fortunate to meet him, and you'll hear through the conversation that it's funny when you get around someone that talks your language and someone you admire and someone you appreciate the conversation, how the conversation flows. And we had a great conversation, and he pulls out some great things that I think can be applied at any level. And Coach Williams is just a dude, and I want to get into this conversation and hopefully enjoy it. And can't thank Coach Williams enough, and can't wait for our next conversation. So I know you enjoy it. I enjoy it. Make sure you have your notes ready. I had mine. Had plenty of notes written out, and I have them in my show notes on Podbean. And so without further ado, I just want to get into it. Again, thanks, Coach Williams, for this opportunity. It was awesome. I can't wait to do it again, man. And enjoy this dude. This guy is a dude, and he talks about his dude shirts, and it's incredible. So, head coach, Pickens High School, Jasper, Georgia, Adam Williams.
We actually put more kids back in the rec department. We partnered with the rec and created what we call feeder teams.
Sure.
These are the upcoming kids for the high school team.
Right.
Basically, we just created a glorified travel team, but I made them pay half the rec fee so that we can use the rec to practice at.
Sure.
So we took kids who were going off to other places to be on travel teams. We got a dad to coach them on a travel team, and they stay up here. They play together with kids in their class.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is just keep them together till the 7th grade. When we get them in the 7th grade, then we can put them on the middle school team and bring them up from there. And what I'm excited about right now is my freshmen that are currently incoming freshmen are my first class of feeder team kids.
Mm-hmm.
A class of 13 freshmen. So it helps.
Yeah.
Wise. I'm going to start. I should have a class of 13, a class of 12, another class of 12, and perhaps a class of about 8 come through. So my numbers should go up pretty good. My quality of ball players should go up. So hopefully when this freshman class comes through, I kind of get to the point where I just reload.
Yeah, that's great. So you guys have middle school baseball. So that's something that you guys have in Georgia. Is that sanctioned through your state?
We don't have – it's something that a few schools do. We're
Okay.
one of the lucky ones to have it. It's not sanctioned through the state. You can see I work in the mountains. We have a mountain school league. There's about 12 teams, 12 schools in the mountains that do it. And then we have a little mountain school league. It's kind of like the SEC regular season. You know, you play everybody on your side twice, everybody on the other side once.
Okay.
They have a little tournament at the end. So they're going to get 18 games. And then from Some of them, they go travel with their travel teams
in the summer. Right.
Yeah.
So how does that conflict with you guys at all in the spring? Like, do you ever get a chance to see those guys?
I play one Saturday in the spring, and I purposely, like, I have people wanting to play Saturdays all the time at the junior high level, but I don't, because I want those kids to go play on their travel teams. I mean, just be honest with you, they come play with me. We play for the name on the front. You know, some of them go and they're going to play on travel baseball teams on the weekend where they see way better competition. So I'm not going to take them out of that. We really stress communication with the parents about the pitching, you know.
Sure.
We ask for priority till it's over, then you can go pitch more with your travel team. But, you know, we ask that way we keep bullets in arms and that type of thing. So, you know, we want to keep their innings down. But for the most part, man, small town Georgia, you know, a lot of pride. Their school team comes first, and that's really, really nice about where I'm at.
Yeah.
A lot of priority on how the school performs. You know, travel baseball is something to do. It's an ends to a means. School is where they take some pride in.
Mm-hmm. That's where they're going to come back.
Nice thing.
That's right. That's where the power of the T-shirt comes in, man.
Yeah, that's right. You know, when it comes to the T-shirt, we've always did the T-shirt hanging in the dugout with the number on the back, and it would say, "Win this game." And if you won the game, we gave the T-shirt out to the player of the game. And so, you know, it was whatever. You had kids walking around with a different T-shirt than everybody else, but it was just another school shirt, you know. And so instead of doing the win this game, I decided that we needed something to kind of create an identity for us, like let us set us apart for the baseball team. And so we created this whole concept of be a dude, you know, because I say the word dude all the time. Is really nothing special behind it. There's no hidden acronym or anything. I just are you a dude?
Right. I'm the same way, man.
So if we came out and we said, dude, you know, you're a dude, we gave them the shirt. And then, you know, through growing as a coach and listening to podcasts and that kind of stuff, we didn't want it to be about them. We wanted it to be about the other people on the team. And so we made them give that shirt to somebody else on the team. And it made them think about what else somebody did to help us win. I think it made them start thinking about the details of the game, the small things that people do that can help a team win. And it just kind of made it about each other and not necessarily about ourselves. And so I think that's the biggest thing. So it's really not necessarily the T-shirt. It's the thought process that goes into the next level of the T-shirt when they have to give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
So that's the important part of the T-shirt. And then on the other thing is like you mentioned earlier, get the good T-shirts, man. Don't skimp on a T-shirt. Put them in something nice. Put them in a T-shirt that's soft, that's comfortable, that fits them, and it's, you know, it's not too boxy. You know, they want to wear it. Let them show their muscles off, what they've been doing in the weight room. So the T-shirt, you know, it's a motivator in the fact that you want to be the guy who gets it. You want to be the guy who performs. You want to be the dude in the game. But then you have to be the dude for the team, and you turn around and give that thing up to somebody else who you know might have gotten a bunt down or took an extra base or something like that helped the team win, put us in a position to be better at the end than we were at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It seems like for that, like you said, it is the next level of like that's just the next part of it, you know. And I know that you've only been at Pickens for a while. Is that something too, as you're trying to just build the culture there, is what you've wanted to kind of say, here is our identity here at Pickens?
You know, I tell my kids every practice how special they are, that not everybody can do what we do. You know, not everybody can be a baseball player. So if you come out here and you commit to us, you commit to the team, commit to the work that we're going to ask you to put in, then you're a dude. You're different. You were set apart. And so that's kind of like the whole concept of the dude is like really everybody's a dude, but I was a dude for that game. We're just trying to build a culture of kids that believe they can go and do anything.
Mm-hmm.
We push them hard at practice. We demand a lot of them. We got shut down today. We went virtual, but we finished baseball. We didn't go home. We had stuff to do. So we got our workout in. We took care of a couple of things we had to do on the field, and we got right back at it. And I fully expect my kids over this break will get together on their own somewhere in the community and get work in, because that's just what they do. We break down every workout and every practice with the saying, hard work pays off. I want my kids to believe that if they come and they put the time in, they punch that clock enough, that there's going to be a reward at the end. And so being a dude isn't about going out and hitting 3-run home runs. It's about committing, coming to work every day, and learning that working hard is going to get you somewhere in life.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So it sounds, it's like, so you talk about hard work, and then giving the T-shirt, like, says, yes, I earned it, had a great day, but I'm going to give that to somebody else. It sounds like you've got two big pillars in your program. Is that something you talk about a lot, like being selfish or being a good teammate, or recognizing what someone else had done, being humble, as well as hard work? Do you have those pillars or those core values?
Well, absolutely. We got a set of core values. One of the first things I did was I interviewed the community, the teachers, the players. We asked what makes a successful Dragon, and we came up with a set of core values, and we call it the Dragon DNA. You got to be dedicated, you got to work hard, family, toughness, confidence, discipline, and being uncommon. And I think this whole idea of giving this T-shirt up to somebody else, we really stress that idea of family. Make sure that you're taking care of your brother that's working hard for you. And it's also different. We want kids that are different. We want kids that are uncommon. We want social rebels. We want kids that aren't going to go with societal norms. Are going to break away. We live in a society where we want instant gratification, but this is not the game for that. So you've got to put in that work. You've got to put in that time. You've got to be a little different in order to be successful in our program.
Whew, that was big time. That's big time there, A-Dub. That's big time. Coming out hot. Loving it, man. That's absolutely. So you actually went as far as also interviewing beyond the players, people in the community about what it meant?
Absolutely. We're a one school county. There's a lot of pride in our county. I want as many people to felt like they had an input into the direction of the program when we got there. I wanted the community to have a say. And it was just as simple as creating a Google form and putting it out on social media. One of the things I learned here is that social media, you got a lot of response. So if you put something out, you got a lot of interaction, a lot of likes and retweets and that type of thing. And so when we put it out, we got instant response. But with that, we also had a lot of alumni who were grateful that we were asking for their help. We had a lot of people in the community that were grateful that we asked for input. Mm-hmm. That it's kind of helped us with our sign sponsorship. It's helped us with our presence, and it's helped us with our reach inside the community. Knowing that these people had a little bit of input, and also inside the school building, you finally got teachers actually interacting with an athletic program, and they wanted, now they got to give their input about what they think, makes someone successful, and hopefully they see some of this stuff in our players in the building. So, we just try to hold those kids to a higher standard, ask them to sit in front. We do grade checks every other week. We keep our thumb on our guys and making sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. But with that being said, we have great kids, man. I cannot complain about our kids. I was talking to our weightlifting coach today, and we're just blown away by the effort that our kids give in the weight room. Our kids give great effort in the classroom. We might not be the biggest, strongest, fastest kids, but, in general, the community and our kids work extremely hard. And I'm extremely happy to be a part of just an environment like that.
Mm-hmm. I would say, excuse me, like just even that, like for the kids to know, hey, we had your teachers, we had these community members, we had again yourself. All these people came together to come up with these core values. There's some buy-in there, man. Like there's also some
And
pressure to live up to that for sure.
Ultimately, the kids are going to be the ones that come up with the final say.
Right.
It was a really simple process. We asked on the Google form a series of questions, list some values or some character traits that make people successful, and then gave them a couple of weeks to fill it out, and then took those character traits and kind of categorized them. You put all the words that were the same, you put all the words that were similar, and you took the kids probably a list of 20 words, and you sat down and said, all right, hey, here's what, the people who have a stake in your success, this is what these people think make it successful. Let's pick the right words that are going to be what we are made up of. And so we came up with our core values, tagged it Dragon DNA. It was kind of the time when Game of Thrones was reaching the peak of its popularity. So we just kind of roll with this whole Dragon DNA thing. And now it's not really, we talk about our core values every day, but it's the kids. It's not me talking about it anymore. We do a thing to start practice. We call it 5 to Thrive. My seniors, they start practice. They talk about the quote of the day on the practice plan. We have somebody called the Success Hotline with Dr. Rob Gilbert. They have to give a synopsis of what they said. They talk about a core value of the day. They talk about the word of the month, lead us to start practice. And that whole 5 minutes there that we do the 5 to Thrive, it's just a mind switch thing. But it's about taking responsibility, and it's about talking about the things that are important to us and things outside of baseball that's going to make us successful.
Absolutely. So, and all these things are like top level, leadership. You're talking about the top level classroom teachers when we're facilitating and we're not doing, and so how have you gotten to this point, like where the kids are the ones talking about the core value of the day, the word of the month, how have you gotten to this point where those kids are leading this?
I don't think there's any secret sauce to it. We just told them, this is what you're going to do. This is your expectation and you're going to do it. It took about one time for them not to be prepared. And we immediately left the locker room and we got their blood flowing pretty good. And in minutes, we got it fixed and we did 5 to Thrive the right way. It'll take about one time a year to fix it, and it'll happen early and we'll fix it. But the expectations is this is what you're going to do and you're going to make sure it gets done. And they did a good job with doing it. First couple of years, like I said, once, twice, maybe. Last year, I don't know that we had one day we had to remind them as to what to do. They did it. Great group of kids that kind of really, really bought into the process. Seniors love those kids. And I think they really set the foundation for what we're trying to build here. We got 4 seniors this year, and they're not going to miss a beat. These 4 seniors will know what's expected of them day one. They see 5 to Thrive on that practice schedule. It will be handled. They will know. They will make sure that there's 5 people ready to talk about their thing.
And that 5 to Thrive, that's the Brian Kane stuff?
I know he uses those words. I don't know what it is exactly.
Oh, okay. So that's your thing. Okay.
Yeah, I think that was like another $110, and I went,
yeah.
But we came up with 5 things, and that's what we rolled with. But it does.
So they're not core values. They're not. So your 5 to Thrive isn't necessarily core values. It's really taking the quote for their practice plan.
Well, no. There's 5 things they got to talk about. One of those things is the quote. What's the quote about? Another thing is a core value of the day. So every day we rotate the core values through. Another thing is the one word focus for the month, whatever we're focusing on. And then they have to call the Success Hotline and give us a synopsis of that. And they have to tell us what we do today to be better than we were yesterday. Kind of where our focus need to be, what do we need to be better on. And it usually has nothing to do with catching and throwing. It has everything to do with communicating or talking or energy or that type of thing. So the 5 to Thrive, I mean, I took that from Brian Kane, those words, but I don't think that's exactly his program.
Yeah, it's like a 5-minute thing. I have it, and so again, it's everything. I love how you have much more ownership of it. It's not just like you just putting some in the program, and just ride with someone else. You have ownership of what you're doing, and I'm sure the kids have a lot more. You guys get a lot more out of it.
No, absolutely. And our kids, I tell them, you may find this kooky or corny, but this is our time where we switch from being a high school student to becoming a baseball player. And that 5 minutes, we're changing our mindset from, whatever happened in that building to what it's time to do between these lines. A little bit about us. We were off campus for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
We were getting our new field built. And so we were able to do it in the locker room. I think when we do it now, we do it in a circle around the plate. And I think that has helped the focus too a little bit more, is that we're there and we're present on the baseball field. And that has really helped kind of go ahead and make that switch from being, a kid that struggled on his algebra test to a kid that's ready to go play baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to give these kids opportunities to kind of go from one area of their life to another.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And I think just like you said, going from the locker room, putting your stuff on, going around the circle, this is just like, it's just all those different routines allow people to get out of wherever they were and get into that arena, that area.
Yeah. No, it's a good thing, man. I would recommend everybody start. And plus it makes your high school kids who aren't used to talking in front of a group get up and talk in front of a group. And it kind of makes your seniors a little bit more recognizable, kind of creates opportunities for them to lead, because the other kids have heard them talk about, hey, here's what it means to be dedicated. Here's what it means to be disciplined. This is what it means to be a family. This is what it means when our one word focus is attack. Like, this is what we got to do. So I think it helps when they get up and they have to give, some type of personal testimony that goes with that core value. And then whenever Rob Gilbert comes in with some great story,
great story,
drives home the point, And when the kid comes up and says, hey, coach, this story was lit today, this story was fire, whatever they say, it really helps drive home that, hey, man, these kids are listening and they're getting something out of it. They're getting motivated.
Yeah, man. That Rob Gilbert, man, it's great storytelling for sure.
Absolutely.
Oh man, that is so you're starting and ending the day. So at practice, so you're doing that every day. So what about game days? What does that look like on game days? You guys still trying to do 5 to Thrive on game days, or is it something different?
No, game days a little bit different. We come out. Usually we have to get the JV practiced before the varsity guys roll in. So we kind of let them take their time coming in. We do have some meeting. I have done 5 to Thrive before, but it's not an every game thing. Mainly game days, we get together and we talk about the opponent and what we got to do and kind of what our focus is from the scouting report that day. What kind of pitcher we're going to see. We'll set the machine. I love hitting off the machine. So we will set the machine kind of to what we're going to see that day and get ready for that. We play at 5:30. So I try to get the kids in about 45 minutes before we go stretch. So 5:30, we're stretching about 4:55. Then we're throwing, we're taking in and out about 5:15, and then we're rocking and rolling there. So, we try to get them in. We let them grab a bite to eat. So come in, take their time getting dressed, and then rock and roll on game day. But, every group you coach is different. These 10 seniors, I never had to doubt them coming to the game ready. And I doubted them making sure that their teammates weren't ready to play. They were an angry, competitive group of kids, and they wanted to prove their worth. And every game we showed up, we played. It was their goal to show that they belonged and that they earned, they were there to earn respect. And that was their focus. And the kids were just a tremendous group of competitors that wanted to win. And I can't say enough about our seniors in 2020. And it was such a bad situation with the COVID. I understand why we had to do what we had to do. When we were 13-2 on pace to set the school record for best record in school history, as to win a region championship. We had some stiff competition down the stretch, but I really liked our kids' mindset and our focus and where we were.
Mm-hmm.
The kids competed. They competed against each other. And being in the small community, they'd grown up with each other. So they were ready to play with the boys and play on the school team and do a little bit and make Pickens known.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely seen that. So, and you talk about competing and then having the right mindset and things like that, too. And you're doing the 5 to Thrive before practice and you're doing the T-shirts after games. Are you finding ways to do the T-shirts other times besides just the one T-shirt after the games? Are you doing anything else?
No, we're doing several things. We do a 4-9 challenge, Ecclesiastes 4-9. Says 2 are better than 1. They get a greater return for their labor. So we put kids in teams. They get points for doing things like attending school events. They get points for picking up trash. They get points for, just being a good citizen. They get points for good reports from teachers. And they get negative points. So if somebody on their team acts up in class, we get a negative email. Then, they get negative points. So we hold the kids accountable there. We let kids set up the field. Was it set up with excellence? Clean the locker room. They have different responsibilities. And throughout this, we're getting points and competing on, things outside the field. So you see a lot, it was good because, you're getting blasted on social media from your team. And you pictures where they were going to bash at Buffalo's as a team. They were going to wing night here at the local restaurant. They were doing things as a team, going to the basketball game and basically be in the student section with their team. So you saw a lot of growth and bonding that way. You also saw a lot of accountability amongst the teams because when somebody got in trouble, not only did it cost their team points, that individual also had we call them fun runs. They had to do some calisthenics after practice and get their heart rate up a little bit, kind of, give them some encouragement to behave a little bit differently in class.
That's right.
So, we do a lot to hold kids accountable outside of baseball. We're trying to build young men. It ain't about necessarily building baseball players. Not everybody in that dugout is going to be a college baseball player. Not everybody in that dugout is going to be an MLB baseball player, but most likely everybody in that dugout is going to be a husband or a father, an employee. And we want to make sure those kids grow up and be as successful at whatever they do.
Amen, man. Amen. That boy. Absolutely. So the 4-9 challenge, do you give a T-shirt to the weekly winner, or is it every month? Do they get when does the T-shirt? When does the winner kind of happen through there?
So the winner of the 4-9 challenge last year, we were going to take them out to eat at the restaurant of their choice. Nice. Hibachi, and we hadn't been able to get together because we'd be violating COVID restrictions. So we had to pay up on that one, but we will start over. And we will run that for the season. We do let them know weekly where their standings are. I have an assistant coach that kind of delegates that. And we put it out weekly for them. And then at the end of the year, we'll take whatever team at 9 or 10, and we'll take them wherever they want to go. If they want to go get bash at Buffalo's or they want to go eat hibachi, we'll take them out to eat and take them all together as a team and we'll pay for it. So that's the goal for the winner of the 4-9 challenge is the dinner as a team. And I had one of them hit me up today, like, Coach, you still haven't took us to hibachi. I was like, there's nobody that's going to sit at a table of 13, like we can't go and sit down at a table of 13. And they got it and they understand, but they're never going to let me live it down.
No way.
I'm going to have to take somebody to get hibachi sooner or later.
Yeah.
Come January 18th when we pick this year's team, we'll start right over again and divide them up and start the challenge again.
That's great. So yeah, so it's a yearly thing. So you're going to take it through just the spring, right?
Yeah.
Or you take it throughout the whole year within spring and fall?
No, it'll be just the spring. It'll
Okay.
be the spring. We have a lot of kids, man. Small town. We have a lot of kids play other sports.
Yeah.
We try not to dominate their time during football season.
Sure.
Football coach is great about not dominating their time during baseball season. So we're all on the same page when it comes to the weight room. We're all on the same page when it comes to academics. So it was really great. And even at my old school, it's really good when you and the football coach and the basketball coaches are all on the same page, holding kids accountable, asking them to lift, checking on their grades. It really does create a good environment where the kids know that somebody's there, they're checking on them. And if they're struggling, we're there for them. We make sure I've sent kids to study hall instead of the weight room. I make kids go see a teacher instead of coming to practice because there's nothing in the Georgia high school that says you got to play baseball to graduate. You got to pass science and social studies and math and literature. So we got to make sure we take care of those before we take care of the baseball.
Absolutely. You
want me to talk about the hidden chart? I'm trying to get there.
Dude, let's roll with the hidden chart then, bro. Let's roll with the hidden chart. I would love. So what's up with this hidden chart? My thing is like, okay, with the hidden chart, when you explain it, right? Is this something that you're also tracking during practice, or is it something that only comes out during the game?
This is something. The hidden chart is something that we do during the game. So the hidden chart, we measure things like getting on base. They get points for.
Yeah.
So they reach base, they get a point. They hit a double, they get 2 points.
Yeah.
In a run, they're up to 3. They drive in a run, that's 4, right? If they double to right field, that's 5. So they can get 5 points in one swing. So we create some competition amongst the kids with that. So we chart every at bat. We have a point system for everything they do. There's positive and negative points. And then we show these players weekly where they are in the point system. And at the end of the week, we give away a quality at bats T-shirt. We call it the Quab shirt. And when they get it, it's theirs. They don't have to give that one away. That's earned. They earn. But it really gets kids to compete against each other. And that way, when you're up in that, it's 5-0 in the 6th, you're not giving away at bats. Kids are competing because they know that they get a point or two here. That's the weekly winner. And sometimes, they want to win that T-shirt, but they also want to let their buddies know they beat them that week. So they're competing against each other. They're competing against the game. They're competing against the other team. It's just another way to create a competitive environment within the dugout. And it's funny. Like they'll come back, somebody will hit a double, or we'll like pinch run for them. Hang on. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Something in the washing machine. No, they'll create a competitive environment where they come back to the dugout and, they'll hit a double and they'll come back in there high-fiving each other. And the next thing you know, you hit them back up and they're like, man, I think I got 6 points on that one at bat. So they're coming back and they're talking about it. And it helps them be aware. It helps them be aware of what the situation is and what they need to do and what they can do to execute to not only help the team, but help themselves.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just a great tool.
Now, will you also keep like a running total? Like, so you have a total of the points, right? So like when a kid comes to the game and says, okay, I'm at 50 points and, this guy's here. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to catch you today. Or like, you better watch,
Yeah. So we update the points after every game. And then as soon as we get them updated, I screenshot it and put it in the group chat. So they know exactly where they are after every game. At the end of the week, we give a weekly winner, but we also keep that running total for the end of the year. That's our silver slugger. That's like our offensive MVP award. It's whoever has the most points on that chart. And it's really good when you get 2 or 3 people, you're down toward the end of the season, and you get 2 or 3 people that's right there battling for that chart, those points. And they I'm embarrassed.
That's all good, man.
The thing we just got a new washing machine. Our other one, we got one when we got married, and it went kaput not too long ago. Yeah, so they compete, and they know exactly where they're at. They know exactly how many points they need. It may create a little pressure, but ultimately the kids are going to want to win the game, so they're going to do what they got to do to win.
Yeah.
So they're going to go execute the situation, and if they hit a double in the gap, everybody wins. They get some points, and the team benefits too. So it's just a great thing. And look, I let them know, and I kind of go post it, and I'll stir the pot. I'll get my spoon out, and I'll kind of on that one PO. Everybody's got that PO that's having to play for you, that's hitting, and we'll post the points, and then get the spoon out and start talking about, hey, little Johnny, you're going to get into positive points anytime soon. But, it makes them want to play. It makes them want to compete. And they start finding ways to score points. So the next thing you know, you're getting backside singles from kids that traditionally pull the ball, and they're trying to hit backside. What are you doing? I got to get out of negative points. I'm trying to get inside out and hit the ball over second baseman's head. I'm trying to get out of negative points. I'm tired of people saying stuff to me.
That's right.
So
that's right. That's that positive peer pressure too, man. That's a positive peer pressure.
Absolutely, man. Anytime you can just create an environment where kids are talking about baseball and they're talking to each other about the game, it's a good environment.
100%. 100%. Yeah, that's like, so I've always done a quality at bat system, and this summer, what was different when I threw it out there with my quality at bat system was, and I just gave it a point. So I can see how you kind of layer it where, like, yes, it's a single, but if it's a single with a run, so it's a single as a point, and then if it's an RBI, I get more points. So like I just kept it as like you basically hit it was 1 through 5, right? Or 1 through 5. If you got out but you hit the ball hard and you had a productive at bat as a point, you get on first base, really it's 2 points. Second base 3, third base 4, home run 5. Let's just put it that way, simple.
Yeah.
And then, so what I did, the next step was, I had all that in the dugout. And then, so part of my lineup card was, like, right on the right of it was, you knew your number. Like, so you could see my top 4, like, they were all about basically the top guys that we'd have for points, and the bottoms weren't. Like, it was all very self-explanatory, like, the top of your lineup, they're those guys that are productive guys that are just producing at a higher level. And you saw those guys, and then the 3 guy goes to the 2 guy and says, hey, man, I'm coming after you today. Or the 5 guys like, man, I'm trying to get up here. Like, I'm going to come out. Like, you better watch yourself. Like, it's just that competition, and also I think what you just said is the teaching of the situational guys that are just they don't even think about those situations. And here's how I'm just going to be productive up here, and I'm just going to do something productive for my team.
Yeah. And I agree. I mean, kids want to be productive. They want to help. But I tell you, as a coach, I make my lineup off that hidden chart. I don't make the lineup off the game changer, man. I very rarely look at the game changer and see what's going on with the hidden chart. Now I use game changer to make the hidden chart, but I'm using the scorebook function to get those points. But you kind of figure out, like, who's got the points for the extra base hits, and then who's getting those singular points, who's breaking even just because they're getting on base. And then you put that kid at the, in the leadoff hole, or you put that kid in the 9 hole and get him to flip the lineup.
Yep.
I think 2019, our 9 hole hitter was ridiculous at just finding ways to get on base. He wasn't going to get a hit. Batting average wasn't much. But, by the book, his on base percentage was very above average. And he would just flip the lineup, and it got my 2 best hitters back up. And always best hitter second. So, you got your leadoff guy, and then you bring your thumper up to hit second. So, there were many times we were hitting the 9 hole hitter, flip the lineup, the leadoff hitter got on base, and then next thing you know, your pressure is on the defense and the pitcher because your best hitter's at the plate hitting second. So there's a lot of benefits to using that chart and figuring out where to put people in the lineup.
Well, I think what we're doing is also getting smart. We're like, batting average doesn't tell production. Like, it just didn't tell production, and the guys who really studied it and got into it, well, we needed to try to find production. Like what you were saying is, we don't have the big bashers. We don't have the most athletic, biggest, strongest kids. So we got to find production in certain ways, and we got to find the best way to do that. And that's what I think you found in your chart for sure.
No, absolutely. It's kind of like a poor man sabermetric system. You know,
right.
I don't know algorithms for weighted on base percentage and all that kind of stuff and wins above replacement. I don't have that acronym. I don't have that Excel spreadsheet. So I got to do the best I can with what I got. And I think this is just a layman's terms way of figuring out who's truly helping the team and who's not.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you do that? So do you go back at the end of the game and give those points, or is someone during the game, do you have a coach or do you have a player doing the chart?
So none of the above. I sit down when I get done. I have a kind of a sheet that I fill in, and I go back through and I tally mark everything up, going by the game change. If you go into Game Changer and pull up your scorecard, it tells you a pitch by pitch result of every at bat. So I just go back in and replay that game on Game Changer, and I do on the back of my lineup card. I do have some things for notes, like if a kid swung at a bad first pitch, if a kid went up there first pitch swinging at a curveball in the dirt, I will make a note of that because that's something I might not remember going through the Game Changer. If a kid popped up on a 2-0, 3-1 pitch, if they hit a weak ground ball, I'll mark that down. So kid doesn't get a bunt down or fails a hit and run, they get a failed execution. I will mark that down on my lineup card, and I will have it with me. But for the most part, you just sit down and go through the Game Changer scorebook, and you can do it. It depends if it's a big game. You kind of come home and do it, and that's kind of part of your unwinding process and do it before you go to bed. I have a great teaching situation. I am unbelievably blessed to be in the situation that I'm in. My administration is the best administration in America, hands down. And I am lucky that I have a virtual teaching class first period. And I do a lot of my baseball work in there after we do the virtual work. And so we are very well taken care of from the classroom standpoint with our administration.
Sure.
So I can get a lot of stuff done.
Right. So you can take it
to some great virtual essays.
Right. So you take the scorecard and you take your chart into the next day's work and be able to fill it out and do those things. That makes sense. So do you have kids charting? Like, do you have kids charting during the game and things like that, or you just kind of let them? The
only thing we ask a kid to chart, our courtesy runner will chart the pitcher. Okay. So our courtesy runner is in charge. They will know the cadence that the pitcher's on. They will know their time to the plate, and it's his job to communicate that back to everybody else. How many looks he's given at second base. That's my courtesy runner's job. All right. And it's his job to communicate that back to everybody else. But, we keep the coaches keep the pitching chart. I'm not a huge charter during the games. We keep up with some game goals, and we talk about those goals before we end the night. Did we reach, our goal in the game? But I'm not a big chart guy. You play baseball with your eyes. I try to watch a lot, see what's going on, pay attention to the big picture. We want to run, and so my courtesy runner, my number one courtesy runner will communicate to everybody what's happening before they go out there on the base pass.
No, that's great. That's great. It's just, I think you're definitely giving some attention just to just playing the game the best you can. Like you said, being open, seeing the things what's going to happen for sure.
Absolutely. Sometimes we make this game really hard. It's a beautiful game. It's a simple game, but yet complicated. And like my good buddy Butch Chaffin says, if you watch the game, it'll tell you everything you need to know. So I'm lucky to be around guys like him and talk to guys like him who's in our little Necton group. And those guys just pour wisdom into everybody. And we're just so lucky to have those guys and have those guys available to us, whenever you need something. But as far as sitting back and getting wrapped up in the chart, I just don't do it. I try to just sit back and watch. I called every pitch this year from the dugout. I don't think I took my hands out of my pockets So we keep everything incredibly, incredibly simple. It gets cold down here in Georgia. You got to be creative in what you're doing. So
yeah.
You
cold down in Georgia. We're getting ready to get 16 inches up here. You talking about getting cold in Georgia?
Hey, we're on a weather storm advisory. We got freezing rain coming.
Freezing rain. Okay. I'll take a picture, send it to you tomorrow, and see what you got. I'm all right. I'm gonna get you. I see you. But yeah, man, I love the chart. How long has this chart been coming? Has it evolved at all?
So this chart's been around Georgia for a long time. Like a lot of Georgia coaches use it. And a lot of people still use it, but it's what you put into it. And so I've probably had access to this chart and used it since 2005, 2007.
Wow.
We've never truly bought into publishing it after every game and putting it out there for kids to see. We would put it, like the kids knew it existed, and we would post it every once in a while, but it never really just caught on from a let's compete against each other standpoint. Like it was just always something like, oh, okay, well, they're doing this for them. And it's just kind of been like something we used as coaches, and we just kind of kept it amongst ourselves, which was really the wrong way to do it. And so the biggest thing was just publishing it and rewarding it. If the kids know what you give them something to compete for, they're going to work toward that goal. And I think that's probably the best thing I've done is just make it available every day and then just allow the camaraderie that it creates to grow from it. The kids, if you got a competitive bunch, they'll get competitive with it. And sometimes you got to pull them off each other.
Mm-hmm.
They'll get competitive with each other. And that's a good thing. That's what
Yeah. No, I agree, man. I agree. It's you got it when you're pulling them off. I think that's when because it's easier to take it out of them than it is to put it in them. Like if they don't got it. So it's nice to know. Like it's almost like for me, I'm teaching like batting at. Like if I know the effort's there, like and if I got to ring you back, that's a good thing. So I think it's great to know that you're at that spot where now you got to bring them back. But yeah, publishing it, and I think, like you said, you're able to now manage it. Like you've got to be able to do it after the game, and that takes discipline. You want to get your family, you want to get home, and for you to be able to take the time to do that, and then to be able to publish it the next day, and then reward it with your T-shirts.
Incentivize it's big. If you wait it till the end of the year, sometimes the kids and the attention spans don't always see what's going to happen 30 games in the future. But, they can see what's going to happen by the end of the week this week. If you got a doubleheader Tuesday, a single game Tuesday, doubleheader Friday, they know they better get to work. So I think it keeps them looking through a microscope instead of looking through a macroscope or a telescope. I'm sorry, I went into my economics spiel there. Yeah, you look through a microscope, not a telescope, as to what you're doing for each individual game, each individual at bat, instead of trying to pull them back and saying, well, I could get hot and win this thing. We're trying to keep everybody hot every game. And that's one of the things that we do by, publishing it and incentivizing it on a weekly basis.
Mm. Yeah, you're definitely creating a sense of urgency for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, will you, with all of your summer ball experience, will you take any of these things into your summer ball stuff? Like, will you chart them certain things? Are you going to, will you try to incentivize certain things for the summer?
The big thing we do in the summer that really tends to work is we do the base 2 system.
Okay. Yep.
I don't pull this out. Summer ball is a different animal. That's probably a whole nother podcast in itself.
Right.
With the summer ball kids, we use the base 2 system.
Big inning,
the answer back, the score first, extend the lead, and score with 2 outs. We do that, and the kids seem to really respond to that, and it helps because they understand the big inning, and they also want to score first. And when you're playing in some of these summer games, you show up and you're playing some team you never heard of. The next thing you're on the mound, the kid on the mound is throwing with a little sizzle, kind of creates a sense of urgency. Like, oh man, we got to score first. Mm-hmm. So, the kids are a little aggressive with swinging the bat. Another thing we do in the summer that we also do in high school is we really stress alpha ABs. We call them alpha ABs. is when we get a runner at third, we don't take strikes. If we get a runner at third, we are hacking because that runner's got to score because you're not going to have a lot of opportunities to get those runs in, especially seeing some of the arms we see in the summer. And then another alpha AB is scoring the runner from second with 2 outs. So we kind of want to get that 2-out RBI and break the pitcher's back, so to speak. Really kind of just take their confidence from them there and drive those runs in with 2 outs and get that runner in. So we talk about alpha ABs a lot, and we talk about the base two. Yeah, in the summer, you're playing 40, 50 games. You're on the road. It's just not practical to come back every day and chart.
Yeah.
So you just kind of go play. And then a lot of times, in our organization, we do a really good job of trying to get our kids in front of other coaches, like college coaches. And so you're playing a lot of showcase games. You're playing a lot of games on the road in front of college scouts. So you're trying to let kids show what they got, and you're not necessarily charting. You're playing to win, but you're also playing for that kid and their future opportunities. So you kind of got to balance find the balance between the, playing to win and making sure these kids get moved on.
Mm-hmm.
In baseball school, Brian Nelson is really good about getting kids into the next level. He's really good about finding where they fit. And, we don't get a lot of Division I athletes. When we do, they're really good. But we get a lot of kids who are just good, solid ball players that are going to go contribute at Division III, junior college, NAIA level. And a lot of it has to do with Brian finding the right fit for these kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great job of hustling for every kid in this program. If you go and look, I think we've gone like 20 for 20 the past 5 years of getting kids in school. And a lot of that is Brian's ability to fit a kid to the right level. So we can kind of get a kid who, you find that kid that thinks they're Division I, and Brian's really good about saying, we're going to look here, look there. And next thing you know, the kids, I love this school. It fits, it fits with with what our family can do financially.
Sure.
A lot of stuff. There's a lot of good stuff happening at Nelson Baseball School with Brian Nelson. Like I said, we'll get the Georgia Tech kid. They'll come because they're blue collar, hardworking kids. But we get a lot of kids that wind up at Birmingham Southern, Berry College. Because we put them in places that's best for them, and we have that conversation with them up front. We have that conversation with them. We ask them to bring their top 5 schools in, and we kind of they'll come in with some overreaching expectations, and we slowly pull them back, say, we're not looking there. This is where we're going to look. This guy's coming to watch you play. and it works. And those kids know that Brian's hustling for them.
Yeah.
So summer's just a whole different animal, a whole different situation. I coach 17s. It might be different at the younger levels, but at 17, we're really about moving those kids on, and that's our goal is to help them get into school somewhere.
Mm-hmm. No, like you said, that's could be a whole other podcast that we get into and things like that. But I know you're so much invested in that. That's why, and I think you do a great job with. You can just tell there's so much great ownership, and you've got it to a science. I wonder how that transitioned in the summer. But I think you're right. And that's just you having a great feel. Like it's just a different animal.
You go out and situationally, the game plays a little bit differently. If we have a bracket, we're going to try to play to get in that bracket. We play a lot of round robin games. We're going to go to Nashville to the Music City Classic and play 4 games. We're going to play some amazing college facilities, but everybody's going to play. We're going to hit 11. Nobody's throwing a complete game, and we're going to showcase kids in front of the coaches, and there might be, and it might seem weird. Like we might play at Vanderbilt, but we're not throwing our stud at Vanderbilt because he's going to throw at the high school because college X, Y, and Z is coming to watch them, whereas they can't make it to the Vanderbilt game. So a lot of it is you got to be organized. You've got to have your ducks in a row. and you got to make sure that you're communicating all the time between me, my boss, Brian, and Brian with the college coaches. So Brian kind of gets them there. It's my job to sell them when they get there. Mm-hmm. The kids got to go out there and perform and earn it.
Sure. Yeah, no. Definitely a very different animal, and it's something that And you've been doing that. How long have you been doing that now?
This will be my 6th summer coaching summer baseball. Okay. 6th summer.
And all with Nelson?
All with Nelson. Look, I'm 30 minutes from East Cobb, 45 minutes from Lake Point. Yeah. I have good friends that coach in other organizations. I would not work for anybody other than Brian Nelson. He lets me coach baseball. He lets me coach it my way. He doesn't interfere, and he trusts me to do a good job. And he knows I get the reputation of his program and what his program stands for and how his program plays. Mm-hmm. Go out and we just try to, live up to the brand, make the brand respected, and make people know when they're playing Nelson Baseball School, they got to compete. Now we do some things. We don't just sit back and let them hit. We have our 1st and 3rd place. I kind of coached us into a couple ties that helped us get into the bracket in a couple tournaments.
There you go.
1st and 3rd place. We're not afraid to squeeze.
There you go.
1st and 3rd safety squeeze. We might just take one for the team and lay it down.
I mean, I gotta say that. I mean, like, what? I mean, have you had those? I mean, you've had to have those conversations with college coaches. That they would they appreciate those things, seeing those kind of things?
We get the feedback we get from college coaches is they will always take a Nelson kid because these kids know how to play the game when they get there. We have 1st and 3rds. We have bunt defenses. We run our pick system. Mm-hmm. We practice. I mean, there's a lot of programs that practice a lot, but we go and we practice baseball. We have things that get us out of jams that a lot of people don't have. And we can score some runs in ways that a lot of people can't or won't, right? Because we're not afraid to play the game. So we do play a little bit of the inside game, probably not as much as other people, but we play a good bit. But we have to, we have to. We're not, again, we're getting Division I kids, but when we go play, a team across town, we're playing a team of SEC commits.
Yeah.
So how do we go out there and hang on? You make these SEC commits have to play baseball. Make them make decisions on drags, make them cover a 1st and 3rd, make them execute a rundown. And sometimes you got to give up an out to score a run. Mm-hmm. Usually very aggressive to squeeze on some of these guys because you don't know where your runs are going to come from. You got to take them when you can get them.
Right.
So, and then sometimes you go and get blown out 14-0. It happens. I mean, but usually we come and we compete and we play hard. And that's kind of our MO is our kids hustle, our kids play the game the right way. And we know how to run a bunt defense. So that's one thing that they don't have to teach them when they get to school.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, I'm sure people have to appreciate those kind of things, man. So dude, like here we are now. It's like, I know I was late to the party with the hidden chart. So is there anything else that you feel like you just you want to discuss, you want to drop something on us that just would all be a little bit better for?
No, I mean, I think one thing we do at Pickens is we do a good job of making our kids compete. I hate batting practice on the field. The days that we line up, put the L screen out there, and hit BP are very slim. But I do a lot of competing. Like we will get 45 minutes worth of swings in our indoor facility. And it will be very organized. They can go in there and get 150 swings in 45 minutes. But then when we come to the field, I always try to end practice with some type of game, whether it's a batting practice game, whether it's a execution, or whether it's a conditioning game, or we're going to scrimmage. But there's always some type of competition we do at the end of practice. And there's a winner and there's a loser, and losers have consequences. We don't take it easy on the loser. The loser's going to have to do a little extra cleaning, a little extra running. and the winners get to sit back and watch. I mean, Augie Garrido says it best: the world treats winners differently.
Mm-hmm.
So winners and losers, and we create some situations where somebody's picking up, somebody's going to the locker room and going home. So I really feel like we do a good job of creating a competitive environment at the end of practice. It's fun. The kids get to talking. There's a lot of trash talking going on. But at the same time, that trash talking builds camaraderie. Those kids learn to compete against each other, with each other, and for each other. So, I think one thing we do well is we end practice. I make sure whatever we do, we end practice on a high note, and we find some way to compete there at the end, so that the end of practice, kids are leaving there excited and pumped up.
Yeah.
So,
no, you're also starting practice that way too. Let's mind you. So like, it's not, it's, you're starting practice on a high note with the 5 to Thrive and how you've owned that first start of practice, and then we're wrapping up, finishing up, man. Like you're just sending kids off, and it's just, you can just tell it's amazing what you guys are doing.
We break it down and we talk, and before every kid leaves, they got to give each other a fist bump, and they got to shake every coach's hand. So, it's over. They're all happy, and then they come by, shake our hand, look us in the eye, tell them see them tomorrow. They're giving each other fist bumps, really trying to create that family atmosphere that we talk about as one of our core values.
Mm-hmm. Each player needs a fist bump, and give coaches. Awesome, dude. This is amazing, and I'm sure people. I have one thing. So like you've got all these T-shirts, and I was wondering and I think you touched on this and how I think the Google form helped out with all your community members, and then you said buying in with your sign sponsorships. Mm-hmm. So is that how you basically raise the money for all your your different your Quab T-shirt, your Dude T-shirt? Is that what you're doing? You kind of just budget for it and through your signs?
It's part of our budget, it's part of our fundraising, man. Being in one school county, it's been really, compared to where I was at, really easy to raise money. Yeah. The community is very good about giving and supporting the kids. I was at a school where we probably did 4 or 5 fundraisers, and we do 3 and make just as much or more money. Mm-hmm. We make really good money on sign sales. We did a gun raffle, made a very large amount of money on a gun raffle, which can happen up here in North Georgia in the mountains.
Right.
Then we do an online fundraiser where they send 20 emails to grandma and grandpa or aunt on the other side of the United States, and the money comes in. But the T-shirts, the Quab T-shirts and the Dude T-shirts, there's a really good story behind that. Jason Riles at Pebblebrook High School is the graphics arts teacher and baseball coach. And Jason is one of the best baseball minds out there. But he works at a relatively inner city minority school. And if you order the T-shirts, he will print the T-shirts for you for 75 cents a shirt. And then every penny of that 75 cents goes right back into his baseball program. And so I order the shirts, I get them shipped to his school, he prints them for me, and then we pay the school or him to print the shirts. But in reality, that money is going to fund his program. Huh. So, it's a way to help us to kind of give back to people who's not as
What's his name?
Jason Riles.
How you spell his last name?
Ryals.
What school is he from?
Pebblebrook High School. Here, I'll give you his Twitter handle. Hang on.
Okay. And you said RYALS, right?
Yeah, it's at Coach Riles.
Okay. And so you said you buy the T-shirts and then you send them to him. He prints them.
Yeah, I buy the T-shirts and send them to him, and he prints them, and it comes out to probably less than $5 a T-shirt to get printed.
Okay.
So I bought a T-shirt, a Dude shirt for every game in our program last year, every varsity game, every JV game, every 8th grade game. And, it was less than $5 a shirt when it all came out. I do the Quab shirts just for the varsity. So, there's 30 shirts there. And we also had a shirt printed up for all A's, the past 2 years. We give incentive shirts for good grades, and he takes care of my T-shirts for me. If we go to the playoffs or we have some, we earn something during the season, I get my shirts from Jason. Jason takes care of me, and in return, we help take care of his program. And at the same time, you're giving money to help kids play ball. It's a great situation.
Yeah, it is.
For that, he's such a good dude. He's such a good baseball mind. There's always good baseball conversations that come out of, a visit to see Jason. So
Sure.
we do great conversation and a good cause.
Yeah. No, that's great. I'm glad that's really great to have something like that, And I think if you're just going to give anybody their money, you might as well give it something like that. And it's going to go into someone, like you said, to grow the game.
Absolutely. You don't have to put this on there, but if you got it printed locally, those shirts are running like $7-8 a shirt. When you go to the local guy who's trying to make $1 to pay the rent, Jason don't have no rent to pay. So, he does it really cheap. And I've told him, it's like, raise the price, like charge me more. I will pay you more.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I know where the money's going. There's no doubt. Like this is going to the right cause. And charge me more. And he never does. 75 cents a shirt. So I don't know, because he's a government funded program. I don't know if there's limits of what he can and cannot do, but he's awesome.
That is awesome.
And I probably should let him do all the designing for me, but I know just enough Photoshop to make me dangerous. I try to piddle and do it, what I think looks good.
Yeah.
Judges me, he just prints my shirt. So
your teachers are great, dude. I love them. I love them, man. And that's I wanted to get in, dive into all that, and just kind of the depth of all the T-shirts and where they kind of came from. And I think you just nailed it, man. It was just unbelievable. I think people are going to want to see or hear more. Like, what's the best way for people to reach out and hear maybe more from Adam Williams?
You can follow me on Twitter at Coach Williams. Our baseball Twitter page is PHS Baseball GA. You can email me at adamwilliams@pickenscountyschools.org. We're at Pickens_baseball on Instagram.
Wow. Just some great information from Coach Adam Williams from Pickens High School in Jasper, Georgia. I love the tangible things, how he's building the culture there at Pickens, the power of the T-shirt. For those people who didn't know, didn't get that, he was talking about he has a dude shirt that he gives out each day. And but the best thing, the better thing about the dude shirt is, yes, the player of the game gets it, but then that guy, he has to give it to someone who will contribute to that day, who has contributed to them being successful that day. Little extra bit about them being successful, being selfless, thinking of someone else. Loved how they brought in the community members to help build the core values there at Pickens. People get invested, and then how the kids were able to create. He was able to create that much more buy-in from everyone, as it's a full community effort to think of what does it mean to be a member of the baseball team, to be a Dragon, and their Dragon DNA. His hitting chart, again, if you haven't seen his hitting chart, or you want to learn more about him, continue to please reach out to him. Twitter at Coach Williams. Email Adam Williams at PickensCountySchools.org. Pickens_baseball on Instagram. His cell phone, 404-353-4688. Feel free to reach out. Coach Williams is, just a little bit of time that I've not to know him, he's very helpful, he's humble, and he's in it for the right reasons. He's in here to grow this game and grow it the right way. And like you've heard in about the 28 mark, that not every one of those kids are going to play Division I baseball, even college baseball players, but they're going to be dads. And he's here to serve them. They're all going to be Ben in our society, and it's our job to help them become better. So, just an incredible conversation, and I can't thank Coach Williams enough. Again, if you haven't found him, if you're not following him, you should be. If you haven't touched base with him about something, you should. And A-Dub, thanks a lot for the conversation. And I'm very thankful I got a chance to meet you and start this brotherhood. So, until next time, keep sharing, keep getting better.